Today, let's talk about 5 Scotch whiskies you need to try in 2021. Here's my list with some tried and true and a couple of surprises too. Let's go. I'm Leanne, and this is Scotch on the Bayou, where we explore the wonders of Scotch whiskey along with the flavor of life in Louisiana. Thanks for being here today. And I'm sure you have seen all over the WhiskeyTube community different YouTubers doing their renditions of the top 5 whiskeys you need for this year. Matt from ADHD Whiskey threw out a challenge to a bunch of other folks. Shayla from Whisky Central grabbed that and said she would do her own spin, but for Scotch whiskey. And she challenged many in the Scotch whiskey community. That's where Drew from Scotch for Dummies put out his top 5 pick and then challenged me. Be sure to check out their recommendations. I have a link to each of their videos in the description. After much deliberation, here are my picks for the 5 whiskeys you need to try in 2021. The first category is daily drinker. This can change by the day, depending on the mood, but my tried and true single malt for my daily drinker would be Old Pulteney 12-year-old. This bourbon matured expression is absolutely delightful. It's malty. It's got some burnt sugar in there and vanillas. It's got this lemongrass floral thing going on too, along with a hint of salt. A nice long-lasting finish. To me, this is quintessential Scotch. At 43% ABV, it's a great, easy sipper. And at $40 a bottle, I'm not gonna feel bad if I have a dram or two. Old Pulteney 12. My daily drinker. My selection for Impress Your Guest is not necessarily this bottle, but a bottle like it. And let me explain. Some folks think they need some expensive, highly allocated bottle to make a statement among their friends, when in reality, being a little creative can go a long way to impress your guests. So consider this instead. Find a bottle from an independent bottler that has a maturation of the distillery that is completely atypical of what their normal flavor profile is. For example, this bottle is from the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, SMWS, and they are an independent bottler that goes to different distilleries, pull casks, and then bottle it under their name. This 96 tells me this is actually from GlenDronach. And if you think about the expressions that normally come from GlenDronach, they're just decadently rich in sherry matured expressions, right? But this bottle is completely bourbon matured. Totally atypical from what GlenDronach is known for. There is no sherry in this bottle of GlenDronach. It's 12 years old. The ABV is 57.9. Cask strength, it was about $120, and it makes a big statement. You can impress your guests with something unusual and delicious and not have to spend a lot of money. Our next category is best mixer, and like Drew, I don't make a lot of cocktails as I normally drink my Scotch neat. However, there are a couple of bottles that I can use to make a really nice cocktail. This is one of them. It could stand alone as a simple pour, or it can go and make a great cocktail. Whether I'm creating an old fashioned, a blood and sand, whiskey sour, or really, more than likely, a highball for a hot Louisiana night, the Artist Blend from Compass Box is a great choice. This is a blended Scotch, so there's gonna be grain in the mash bill, along with 55% of malted barley. So you're gonna get a really nice fruity, clean taste. It's 43 ABV, unchill filtered, no color added. It's super easy to find, and I love the fact that you can get on Compass Box's website and go down the rabbit hole of all the transparency that they provide of information on what goes into their whiskeys. And they've just updated their packaging, so you may see something a little different than this labeling, but no, the recipe is the same. And for $35 a bottle, it's a fantastic deal. Let me know in the comments what your selections would be for this list. And if you're enjoying this, hit the like button. That really does help me grow the channel. Next is the Friday night pour. And this too can change depending on the weather and the mood that I'm in. But for me, I want to reward myself for a good week's work and to sit back and have some me time with a really fun dram. Friday night is the night to kick back and relax with a dram from Isla, specifically Kilchoman's Loch Gorm. This limited edition is named for the murky waters in Isla's largest freshwater lake. It's just across from the Kilchoman distillery, and it also serves as a water source for the distillery. It's 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, no color added. It's been matured in 100% sherry casks. So it didn't spend time in bourbon first, like many of their other expressions. This is 100% sherry. So you're getting those stewed fruits and malt and yumminess, and it is so delicious and dense and rich. Its NAS non-age statement, but probably has around 8 to 9 year old liquid in it. It's more smoky than peaty with some earthy elements, but there are no medicinal notes on this dram. This is sherry and smoke. Think cinnamon toast crunch cereal with raspberry jam with wafting campfire floating over it. This is a chill dram to sit back, relax, and just enjoy. This particular bottle is the 2020 version. The 2021 editions are hitting the US now, and I would say if you can find one, grab one. At $120, they're not real cheap, but I think it's pretty much worth it. It's always nice to treat yourself for a special occasion. Maybe a milestone birthday, the birth of a child. You got that big promotion. In our case, Mark and I just celebrated a really big anniversary. My choice for a special occasion bottle is Glenmorangie's Signet. Now, this is not a thrifty bottle. This actually cost us just under $200. We found a pre-tariff Dusty. Right now, they're going about $250 in my market. But we're gonna pour lightly from this bottle. It's gonna be a special occasion when we have it from now on. And every time I pour this bottle, I'm gonna think about our anniversary. And that makes it even more special. The Signet is 46 ABV and has two different types of malt. The Cadboll Estate malt along with a chocolate barley. The maturation is a conglomeration of bourbon, sherry, and charred American virgin oak casks. And although it's an NAS non-age statement, it is reported to have whiskey at least 35 years old. A dram of the Signet brings rich creaminess with a hint of citrus, but the star of this dram is this bittersweet chocolate, tobacco, and even cocoa or mocha coffee note. But it's also extremely balanced, and all of those elements, not one of them overpowers the other. And while my husband may not be as into whiskey as I am, he was very happy that this is the bottle we chose to commemorate our anniversary. In the comments, let me know what your picks are for these 5 categories. Your daily drinker, impress your guests, best mixer, Friday night pour, and special occasion. Special thanks to Drew from Scotch for Dummies for nominating me on my 5 whiskeys you have to have for 2021. And I hope, Shayla, this met your vision for tossing this challenge out to the Scotch community. To keep the ball rolling and to give you one more set of opinions, I challenge Scott from Scotch Test Dummies to come up with your list of the 5 Scotch whiskies you need to try in 2021. I hope you enjoyed today. This was a lot of fun. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit notifications so you'll know when the next video comes out. And until then, Sláinte y'all.